first thing to do is to sanitize your hand. This is very important. As much as we need to wear makeup, you should do it rightly. You can't work with all those bacteria on your hand, so you sanitize your hand first and then you shape the brow. That's how I do my makeup. So this is a new blade actually. I just opened it up now. So I'm going to shape our brow now. We are going to be doing soft arc brow. This kind of brow works for everybody and is always very nice. It doesn't change the person's face shape. It's just working with what the person has and getting a good result from it. So we clean out this under brow, the brow bone. Make sure it's very neat because that's the most important part when it comes to shaping. So after cleaning out, you brush your brow down to see if you are going to have excesses, and you can see it's not looking neat anymore. So we are going to cut this off. You cut it off gently. You have to be very careful when you are doing this because if you make any mistake, you cannot rectify it. And then you brush up again and check if there are excesses. If there are, then you cut off. So I'm cutting off gently. You cut off gently. You brush down again. Can you see I have a bit of excesses there? I'll cut off again. So you brush up and down till you can't see excesses anymore. Then we'll do the same for the other brow. Try not to cut your client, but then if it happens, don't freak out. You have to be able to manage the situation as a professional. Just apologize for that and you move forward. You brush down. And you brush up again. And cut off the excesses. Brush down. And then you brush up again. Yes, you can see it's clear enough. You can even see the shape. So we are just going to be working with a natural shape. The next thing to do now is to clean the canvas. The face, I'm going to be working with whites. The face is a canvas and you cannot paint on a dirty canvas. So you have to clean your canvas. You make sure it's neat. So you clean out, you wipe out all the dirt on the face. Can you see? You don't want to have this. Your makeup has to be very neat. It has to be clean. So, and be gentle, please. It's a pampering section for me, so it has to be neatly done. Your client has to enjoy it. Do you understand? Very good. So now her face is very clean for us to work on. So I want to prep the skin now. In case you're working on someone who has dry skin, you want their face to be able to absorb all to have enough moisture. Please close your eyes. So you can put, that's a makeup fix, a fix spray. And then this is right here I have a prep and prime from MAC Cosmetics. This is something you can use to prep the skin as well. So her skin is smooth, is tender now. You can see she's looking radiant and she has a very good skin. Okay, so after prepping the skin, what I do next is to prime my brows, because you don't want to, the reason why I prime my brows is because I don't want the brow to start secreting oil when my makeup is completely done. So I prime my brow first. Okay, so let's move on to the proper makeup now. I'm going to set the brow with this blending brush. I'm just going to put a bit of powder here. I like my brow to be as matte as possible. I don't like seeing oil around the brow area at all. So I'm putting powder so as to get that matte feel. And then another thing this does is to make you see properly the brow area that you want to draw out. So after that, with my brow wand, I'm brushing the brow to the shape I want it to have. So now I'm going to be using the David's pencil. Getting a good result does not necessarily mean that your pencil or your product has to be very expensive. This is a very cheap pencil and it does a great job as well. So what I'll do is I'll draw from the point where the brow stopped. I'll trace it out gently, and from the top, from the brow bone, I'm going to follow this shape down right here and trace out here. Can you see? This is just drawing the shape that I want. I'm doing the same for this other one. So after this, I'm going to be filling up with my brow definer or my brow gel, depending on what they call it in the brand you are getting. So I just use this to draw out the shape, but then you can as well use your smudge brush to draw out with your brow definer. Anyhow you want to do it, just get a good result. So this is my brow definer. I'm going to use my smudge brush to fill it in. The advantage of brow definer over pencil is that most of the brow definers that I have worked with are waterproofed, and because it's waterproofed, it makes the brow stay well. So let's say she's a bride and she sweats a lot. After dancing and sweating, you can be sure that the brow will still be intact because the brow definer is waterproof. So you gently fill the brow and make sure you concentrate the brow definer on the area that does not have hair at all. So you fill gently. Less is more. You don't want to take so much product and be looking for where to blend it out to. It's better to take in bits. So you take in bits and then you fill up the part that there's no hair. After filling up that part, then you can sparsely fill the part that there's full hair, which is what I'm doing now. And then note that the beginning of the brow, which is this part, you should not fill too much, because naturally is not full. Naturally, we don't have full hair over there, so you need to work with the natural face shape. Makeup is to enhance, not to change the entire face. You blend, and you can see that the brow shape is on point, even though we've not used concealer to highlight it. That's very important. As a professional, you must be able to draw a very good brow without concealer. For highlighting, you use a shade or 2 shades lighter foundation or concealer. So I have 2 different concealer here so as to get my good results. I'll concentrate on the brow bone because that's the area I really want to highlight. You make sure you place your brush next to the drawn line to make your brow pop. You can see, and it has to be very straight. So you blend out gently. You blend out gently. You can blend your concealer to the eye area, the eyelid. That will serve as a base for your eyeshadow. So I'm blending to that part. Yeah, it's well blended now. On the upper side, you can see this, my shade of concealer is darker than the one I used initially. So I'm going to pick the darker one and use on the upper side of the brow. I want something very close to our tone because on the upper side, what we are doing is just to make the brow very neat. It's the lower side that needs proper highlighting. So do not use very bright color on the upper side. So now, after tracing that line, you blend out very well. Blend out. You don't want to have harsh lines. So with this my blending brush, I'm going to blend out more because I want my brow to look well blended. No harsh line. So I'll blend out the concealer traces very well. Can you see? Then we repeat the same process for the other one. You take your angle brush next to the brow. If your angle brush is not next to the brow, your brow won't pop. You'll be wondering, why is this brow not popping? That's the reason. Your angle brush is not next to your brow, or your concealer is not light enough to highlight the brow. It's either of the two, but most times it's always the brush, the placing of the brush. So you need to pay attention to it. You need to pay attention to all those details. My light concealer has finished, so I'm adding. And then when your concealer is not enough as well, your brow won't pop. So you need to note all these things and pay attention to them. So you blend out, you smoothing, and try not to blend out your concealer completely on the brow bone, because when you blend it out completely, then you'll be wondering why it's not popping. It's because you don't have concealer there anymore. You can see that this one, there's still concealer there, but it's smooth. That's what you need to do. You need to smoothen out. So let's smoothen this out as well. And I see some people highlight the two brows, then they now start smoothing. If you want to do that, you must be very calculative, because if you don't smoothen out fast, it will dry up, then you won't be able to blend out very well. So that way you won't have a good result with your blending, which is not a good thing. So to be on a safer side, I'll advise that you finish one completely like this before you move on to the other one. So you check the two brows, you look out for the differences, so you'll be able to make adjustments. Now I can see that the outer part of this one is thinner than this one, so I'm going to correct this to make it look like that. And then it's shorter, it's a bit shorter than the other one too. So let me add my brow definer to that part, because there's no hair. So I'll add it here. The length is good enough now, so it's just for me to highlight it to make it look the same. Yes, we have similar brows now. You know, they are sisters, they are not twins. Even if they are twins, identical twins, they still have their differences. So as a professional, just make sure it's looking good, and to a large extent they look almost the same. You need to take your time to check, so you'll be able to pick out the difference and correct. Yeah, the beginning part is a bit different, so I'm going to correct that now. Blend out again. And then I get a lot of my students telling me I don't know how to make my hand very straight. Sometimes you have to hold your breath to be able to stabilize your hand to get your brow very straight. So in case you are struggling with getting it straight, hold your breath and see if you are going to get a better result. It sure works for me anyway, and I know it works for a lot of people as well. So you go back with your brow wand and blend out. You can see the beginning part is really natural. I love this part. Okay, very simple, right? It's not difficult when you know the right thing to do. So I'm going to set my brow now. With this very fluffy blending brush, I'll be putting my setting powder on the brow bone so as to absorb all the shine from my concealer. So I'm going to pull that gently. You can see the difference. This is dry, this is not dry. So that's what this does for me. So let's say you used to do your makeup without all these things that I'm doing. By the time you implement this, you'll see the big difference. Your makeup will last all day and it will look better. It will look more flawless. Yeah, brow done. Moving forward,